Konnichiwa, I'm Paqupel, your guide to Japanese flavors. Today we're making an egg-free Okosama lunch, Japan's beloved kids' plate, made without eggs. Okosama lunch is a classic kids' plate in Japan, one we've shared on this channel before. In this video, we'll share 7 egg-free dishes, allergy-friendly, genuinely delicious, and full of little touches to make kids smile. First up, fluffy tofu meatballs. Small, round, and coated in a sweet and tangy sauce, made without eggs with silken tofu as the binder for a soft, tender texture every child can enjoy. Start by making the sauce. Combine ketchup, soy sauce, sugar, and rice vinegar. Set aside. Next, place the ground pork, silken tofu, minced onion, miso, and potato starch in a bowl. Knead until the mixture holds together. The tofu acts as the binder in place of egg, keeping the meatballs soft and moist. The miso adds a quiet depth of flavor. Delicious for everyone, allergy or not. Lightly coat hands with oil and shape the mixture into small round balls. Lightly grease the frying pan with oil. Arrange them in a frying pan. Heat over low heat. Once you hear a gentle sizzle, add a little water and cover with a lid. Steam for 5 to 6 minutes. Steam cooking gives a softer, juicier texture than pan frying alone. Once lightly browned on the bottom, add the sauce and toss to coat. Cook over medium to medium-high heat for 2 to 3 minutes, reducing the sauce slightly so it glazes and clings evenly to each meatball. The vinegar's sharpness softens with heat, leaving just a pleasant brightness that keeps the sauce from feeling heavy. That's the tofu meatballs done. Soft, juicy, and full of flavor with no egg in sight. Before the next recipe, here's something from life in Japan. Tofu has long been a staple of Japanese cooking, and driven by a growing interest in health and plant-based eating, it's having a fresh moment. Tofu gratin, tofu noodles, tofu protein bars, all easy to find at supermarkets and convenience stores. Just as it acted as a binder in the meatballs, tofu is a natural fit for egg-free cooking. Later in the pudding, it creates a creamy texture in place of eggs and cream. Next up, bite-sized salmon fry. Crisp on the outside, soft and juicy within, a golden egg-free fry that makes fish genuinely easy for children to enjoy. Remove any skin and bones from the salmon. Cut into bite-sized pieces. Season lightly with salt and leave for about 5 minutes. Pat dry thoroughly with paper towels. Make the batter by combining flour and water until smooth. This egg-free batter also works for shrimp, chicken, and vegetable fritters, light, versatile, and allergy-friendly. It should be thick enough to drip slowly and steadily. Dip each piece of salmon into the batter, then press the panko breadcrumbs on firmly for an even coating. Fine panko produces a lighter, more delicate crust that is easier for children to bite through. Heat the oil to 340 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature is right when small bubbles form steadily around the tips of chopsticks. Fry for about 2 minutes until golden brown. Avoid over-frying. Removing the salmon while still just cooked through keeps the interior moist and tender. Transfer to a wire rack to drain. That's the salmon fry done. Light, crisp, and easy to pick up, the kind of fish dish children actually look forward to. Next up, corn cream pasta. Made with farfalle, the bow tie pasta children love, all in just one pan. Heat the olive oil in a frying pan over medium heat. Add the bacon and cook until lightly brown. Add the onion and mushrooms, season with a pinch of salt, and cook until softened and fragrant. Cooking the bacon and mushrooms until well browned draws out their umami, which forms the flavor base of the dish. Add the water, milk, dashi stock powder, corn, and grated garlic. Adding the garlic to the liquid rather than frying it separately produces a gentler, more rounded aroma. Stir to combine and bring to a boil. Add the pasta and cook over medium heat, stirring occasionally for the time indicated on the package. Farfalle tends to stick together, stir a little more frequently than usual to keep the pieces separate and cooking evenly. When a little liquid remains, add the soy sauce and stir briefly. Add the butter and toss until fully incorporated. Adding the soy sauce and butter at the end preserves their aroma and richness. Season with salt to taste if needed. That's the corn cream pasta done. Mild, creamy, and made with cheerful bow tie shapes, a dish children will love inside and out. Next up, bear onigiri. A round little bear resting on the plate, the moment children spot this face, their eyes light up. Using plastic wrap, shape the rice into a round ball, one large for the head and two smaller ones for the hands. This keeps hands clean and makes it much easier to form a smooth, even shape. Press gently to form a slightly flat circle. Season lightly with salt. Place the dry spaghetti on a sheet of aluminum foil and toast in a toaster oven for about 2 minutes until lightly golden. Watch closely, it can burn quickly. Toasted pasta gradually softens as it absorbs moisture, making it safe to eat and a practical alternative to toothpicks. Cut the sliced cheese for the nose. Cut the nori for the eyes and nose. Cut the ham for the cheeks. Slice the mini sausage into rounds and trim a small flat slice from the bottom of each piece. That's the bear onigiri done. A little bear that seems almost to smile back, a charming centerpiece for the Okosama lunch plate. And one more thing from life in Japan before we move on. In Japan, food is meant to be enjoyed with the eyes as well as the mouth. Meals are shaped into animals and familiar figures, each detail a small act of care. It is a form of omotenashi, Japanese hospitality expressed through small, playful details. On this channel, we've also shared a bear omu rice and decorated inari sushi, so take a look if you're curious. Next up, octopus and squid sausages. A few simple cuts and a brief simmer, and the sausages curl open into cheerful little figures that make children smile. First, the octopus. Cut each sausage in half diagonally. Cut to form 8 legs. The more cuts made and the finer the legs, the more dramatically they will curl during cooking. Press a straw to make the mouth. Push it back in slightly so it protrudes just a little. Use a toothpick to make 2 small holes for the eyes, then press a black sesame seed into each hole. A simpler version with longer legs and eyes only is also a great option. Next, the squid. Cut the top into a triangle to form the squid's head. Make a small knot. Cut to form 10 legs finer than the octopus version. Press a straw to make the mouth, as with the octopus. Then add the eyes using a toothpick and black sesame seeds. That's the octopus and squid sausages done. A playful touch that brings joy and excitement to the Okosama lunch plate. Next up, pumpkin soup. Naturally sweet and loved by kids, made with just 3 ingredients and no blender required. Scoop out the seeds from the pumpkin. Wrap in a damp sheet of kitchen paper, then wrap again in aluminum foil. Roast in an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 60 minutes until a skewer passes through easily. Slow roasting drives off moisture and concentrates the pumpkin's natural sweetness and flavor. Once cool enough to handle, scoop out only the flesh with a spoon, leaving the skin behind. Transfer the flesh to a saucepan. Add the milk and warm gently over low heat. Once heated through, strain through a sieve. Straining creates a surprisingly smooth texture. No blender needed. For a chunkier soup, simply skip the straining step. Add the consommé stock powder. That's the pumpkin soup done. Finish with a drizzle of heavy cream, croutons, and parsley if desired. A simple way to share the natural sweetness of pumpkin with children, and a perfect addition to any Halloween spread. Last up, Silken tofu chocolate pudding. Rich, smooth, and made with just chocolate and tofu, no eggs, no cream required. Break the chocolate into small pieces and place in a heat-proof bowl. Microwave at 600 watts in 30-second intervals, stirring between each until fully melted. Overheating can cause the chocolate to seize. Heating in short intervals and stirring each time ensures a smooth, even melt. Place the silken tofu in a bowl. Blend with a hand blender until completely smooth. This removes any beady texture. If a hand blender is not available, whisk vigorously until smooth. Add the melted chocolate to the blended tofu and mix until fully combined. Adding the chocolate while still warm helps it blend smoothly into the tofu without streaking. Pour into cups or molds. Refrigerate for 2 to 3 hours until set. That's the Silken tofu chocolate pudding done. Garnish with your favorite fresh fruit if desired. The perfect egg-free finish to the Okosama lunch plate. That's all 7 egg-free dishes of the Okosama lunch complete. There are no set rules for Okosama lunch. Use this video as a starting point and mix in any dishes your child loves. Feel free to think of ideas your child will enjoy. There are so many dishes that kids will love, even without eggs. We'll be sharing more allergy-friendly ideas in future videos, so subscribe if you'd like to see more. We hope this becomes a special memory shared with your family.